Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me at College Knowledge for Haruka. This week, I want to talk about public s- honors colleges. If you have a top student, academically really strong and looking for rigorous college experience, but maybe you don't want to spend $75,000 every year, cost of attendance for a private university, or maybe you just can't afford it. If that's your case, then maybe you can look into public honors colleges to for your student. Today, I want to talk about three things about public honors programs. First, what are the benefits? Second, some examples of schools that are pretty popular with California students. And then third, some follow up questions to ask so that you can dig deeper and figure out if it's a right fit for your student. So, first of all, what are public honors colleges? Well, they're usually, there are many, many state schools. Every state in the country has a state university, sometimes even two systems, and they tend to be pretty large, but many of them, all about 40 or so universities have things called public honors program, like honors programs and honors colleges for the most academically selective students. Sometimes it's a small program, a couple of hundred students, or sometimes it could be as large as thousands of students. There is a lot of variation, but um, there are various advantages. Three types, actually. First, academically. Mm, you're going to be in a community of academically, you know, uh, top students, smaller discussion classes. Even within a large university campus, you can have closer one on one relationships with your professors. Some schools offer early registration so that you can get access, especially if there are impacted classes. Um, Research opportunities are also available. Uh, a lot of programs require a final thesis or a final project for their seniors. And if this is something that your student is interested in, this is a great opportunity. You don't have to be at, an Ivy League institution to get some of these opportunities. Also, from a social perspective, some honors colleges offer a dorm so that they create a special community for their honors students. Sometimes it may just be a suite within a regular dorm, but maybe they have bigger rooms or they have air conditioning, or maybe it's closer to laundry facilities or closer to dining halls. I mean, all these things are small, but they can, make the university experience a little bit more pleasant. And also being part of an academic community, this means that even though it is a state school, it does the honors programs do tend to attract the students from out of state. And therefore, you may become friends with students from all over the country, and that can be another way to enrich your college experience. Some universities may have a bit of a party school reputation, right? But you can be rest assured that if you are part of an honors program or an honors college, that at least that circle, that smaller group subset will be more academically focused. And thirdly, remember, I always talk about the three things: the academic, social, and financial fit. There's also a financial advantage to attending public honors colleges, and that's that if your EFC, expected family contribution, is high, right? If you have already determined that from doing the FAFSA forecaster and net price calculators, etc., if you know that your EFC is very high, then you need to look at schools where the cost of attendance is less, so that you're not going to be paying $75,000 every year for your student. Um, and and the public state schools, they can be kind of like, in many cases they will be more expensive than a UC. Not always. Sometimes it's even cheaper, but The state schools tend to be somewhere in between the UC and the private schools. And I think with every school, every student, when you're building the college list, you want to diversify. You don't want to just say, "Oh, I'm just going to apply to the UCs and see how they go." Right? Especially if you're a high caliber student, maybe you're a national merits, student, then look into these public honors colleges. So, second, what are some examples of schools you can be looking into? Probably the most famous honors college is Arizona State. Arizona State University has what's called Barrett's Honors College, and you may already know that Arizona State is the largest university system in the country. I think they have about like 60,000 students. I know it's tremendous. It sounds like a little city, but their Barrett's Honors College has 9,000 students. So, in some ways, it's almost like a college within a university. You can be studying with any major, you could be living on any of their 4 campuses. That's Tempe, West, Polytechnic, or Havasu, and you could still be part of this Barrett's Honors College. And while ASU may be easy to get admitted, the honors college is definitely more selective. Their average GPA for admitted students was 3.82 unweighted. So, yeah, this is selective. And every year there are students that turn down Ivy League schools to go to Barrett's. It's just one example of, the caliber of program. Now, there is a lot of variability, there's a lot of and every school has a different type of honors program or honors college. Program means that it's a kind of a smaller program, because on the other side of the spectrum, some can only have like 150 students, but on average I think they have an honors program, or has honors college can have about 1,700 students. University of Arizona also has a program. Another one is University of Oregon Clark Honors Program. They call it a community of scholars. And again, you get all of the advantages. I mean, there are advantages from an academic perspective because of the smaller classes. Um, you get to have a closer relationship with your professors, and so on. Mm, Oregon State, Penn State's Schreier Honors College, University of Pittsburgh has the Pitt Honors College. Other schools like Purdue, Texas A&M, Rutgers in New Jersey, SUNY Stony Brook Honors College in New York. All of these may be known as big schools, but by participating in an honors college, you can get the best of both worlds, right? A smaller experience within a larger context. So, number 3, what are some questions you want to ask as you're researching these honors colleges? Well, first is, what are the requirements, right? This year with coronavirus, there are no test scores, or it's very, test scores are not used by many of these schools. So, number 1 is definitely going to be the GPA. I would, whether most schools are going to be looking at both the weighted and the unweighted to see whether you are the type of student that's has a history of taking the most academically rigorous classes. Essays will be very important as well. Other questions to ask are, how big is the program? Right? It could be small or large, and that will change the experience. Another question is, what are the percentage of classes that are going to be honors versus co-curricular, meaning with the rest of the students in the university? Sometimes it's about maybe a quarter is typical. So maybe one honors class every semester is typical. Also to ask about completion rates. Sometimes, I mean, I'm just going to be perfectly honest here. Sometimes that the the state schools may be using the honors college as a kind of a carrot to get many out-of-state students to come to their school. So you do want to find out what the completion rates are. Are all the freshmen who are in the honors program, do they continue sophomore year and then continue on to graduate with the honors program? from the honors program, because that's just goes to show that the honors program is very robust and has a strong track record. And speaking of track records, you want to ask about career placement, right? Because it is an honor, it's another mark of distinction. It just shows that you're very academically, you're up for academic challenges, and that's always a great thing. After all, you're going to college for the academic experience. It's not for everybody, though. If you are, intimidated by the idea of doing a thesis or something like that, then maybe it's not for you. But if you are a top student and you want a challenge and you're kind of torn because you want to add some more schools to your list, and you know then look into this. All right, hope that helps. I'm going to put a link uh, to a great resource called publicuniversityhonors.com, no spaces, and it is probably the biggest one-stop shop resource for public honors colleges. And there you'll find everything from different rankings, different details about what the experiences are for dozens of programs throughout the country. If this video has been helpful, I hope you will like it and share it and subscribe. I will these videos are available on Facebook Live, and now I'm also excited to share with you that we are launching my YouTube channel, and it's called College Knowledge with Haruka. And if you're watching me on YouTube, yay, thank you. You're one of my very first viewers. So subscribe and keep watching. That's all for now. See you next week. Bye-bye.